writings like this help me understand, like, what I was going through when I wrote it. I don't even remember where I was exactly when I wrote this. I'm guessing I was right around 17 or 18 years old. But I wrote, why do I dream of love when love leads herself away? Where does love truly exist when it comes into the heart like a fist? Why do I sit and wait for someone to come and show me the way? Why do I stay here for anyone who supposedly needs me as well? When I need although, nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to actually be there. As although everyone just leads you on and lets you down. I'm glad that you found your way. But why do you expect to drag me down and all around just to lead me in to wait? To wait for that love. To wait to get slapped in the face. Love was just a plastic existence. Just a fake brewing of a flowering reassurance. But that reassurance was the fake that comes in reoccurrences. Clearly to me now, it was because I was poisoned unwittingly. It was Christ in me that kept me alive at many times in my life. And people want to play and pretend that what I'm saying is just a lie because there was always me on autopilot. The only me that they ever knew of me was a person that was unwittingly being poisoned. So how could they have ever even gotten to know the real me? They couldn't, and neither could I. Because even if you can't see the patterns of abuse that are lying in wait, that was the fake that was constantly in reoccurrences, is that they would lead you into a way, just like this writing suggests. They would lead you in a way with intention to let you down and let you wait. And instead of receiving that love, you just got slapped in the face by love that was a plastic existence, just a fake brewing. In their flowering of reassurances, so they would try and reassure you, that you're fine, and they would reassure everybody else there's nothing else to see besides Matt just being Matt, basically. He's just looking for validation, my brother would say. Don't validate him, and things like that. So that fake came in reoccurrences, just as my mind, literally, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And it's not like it's just the fact of, narcissistic type of love, where it's not love at all. It's about propping themselves up as more than you are and more than you can ever be, because that's what they feel the need to, they feel the need to bring other people down in order to make themselves feel better. They need to make sure that you're hurting, and the demons at play of envy and hate and jealousy are purposefully trying to leave you enraged. And so I just found this notebook and I wanted to go through it, and I'm sure there's many other places where I feel heavily that the writing that I created was very confused and confusing, because I was confused. There's no availability to mentally be in an incapacitated state unwittingly and have you, the 100% you, being able to write, work, love, drum, like whatever you do in life. Anything you do and choose to do in life is not the 100% you. You can think to yourself that what's happening to you can blame yourself over and over. Here at the end, if I was still in that state of mind, I wouldn't have found my way out and I would have died. I wouldn't have been alive here to even say what's been going on. So that's why I am saying what's going on, because I don't want people to be in cognitive dissonance if they have received abuse in their life. You don't want to be in cognitive dissonance and protecting the abusers like Stockholm Syndrome. You want to be able to write these things down and say them for what they are, not pretend that your life is all hunky-dory outside of something that's not abusive. Because especially when you're abused from a young age in this kind of fashion, you're going to have to self-regulate those emotions, and oftentimes there are people that legitimately can't. Their health is so deteriorated, their emotional maturity is just wrecked. And it's wrecked to the point that they do have that tinge of cooperating with the abusers. And that's what creates you to have cognitive dissonance towards the abusers, or be Stockholm Syndrome-y to the abusers, protecting the abusers, because you just don't want it so bad. But anyway, this the last line in here, but that fate comes around in reoccurrences. So it's reoccurring in my life. And it was. Like, I remember what I was talking about here, and it was a few people, to tell you the truth. It was quite a few people. 5, 6 people, 7 people. I don't know, it was a lot of people that were doing these things to me. So I was talking about waiting for someone that would show up for me the same way that I was showing up for them. It was talking about, where does love exist when it does come? It comes to hurt me. It comes like a fist. I was saying, when I'm reading into this, is that for anyone that needs me as well and suggests that they had needed me, why doesn't anyone actually seem to care? Why isn't anyone there? As though you're just being led on and then let down. And that's what it was constantly. It was leading you into a place of, that fake brewing of a flowering love or flowering reassurance, like you're fine. But then that fake was right there, just around the corner to lead you into wait, to lead you to wait and withdraw on you at perfect times, to withdraw on you. And while you're waiting for love, and you're not getting love. So I guess I'm just saying this because it's clear to me now, all of those times where I literally have memories of me wanting to get away for a very particular reason that I couldn't tell exactly what it was happening to me, to either trying to get away or being brought back by the police even when I did want to run away as a kid, to there being times or a period where it would be like my reminding myself that something is happening to you that's not allowing you to see the facts to and through. And then to all of that completely going away, and then all that's left was the crying, the rage, the depression, the pain, the hurt. And then it would take a while for the sunlight to come back into my eyes and back into my body, because of the definite feeling that I was being suffocated in all of my cells of my body. And then that pattern would repeat. And then that's the memories that I have in folds and folds and folds of that. Like many times over, from being, ever since I can remember, to 43 years old. And it didn't matter where I was, or what I was doing, or how they had pushed me. You see? And they did. They pushed me into homelessness because they suggested come live with them. Not this is what their other plans were, but they did two things there. I had already had a psychological evaluation. I did not need to be taken to be placed on a hold simply because I had faith in the Lord or had belief in God. They didn't have belief in God. They didn't need to throw me in there suggesting he hears voices. He hears voices. That's what his wife did. So it was throwing me under the bus to leave me in their care, when luckily Hennepin County went to bat for me and I got out. Otherwise, that place would have fucked up my life completely, with them like literally getting away with rape next to every single night, that you could legitimately hear the screams of no over and over. Yeah, if you deal with that and you're in that kind of situation, I'm sorry, but that place is gonna fuck your mind right the hell out of your own natural ability to hold tight, to hold on to your resolve. Then, getting out of that place, it was just a plan in place to put me into a homeless shelter. And being that it's Anoka County, I'm sorry, but reading the disclosures that used to be on Facebook that aren't on Facebook anymore with the state of corruption of Minnesota, there's still state of corruption pages, but state of corruption Minnesota is completely gone, because if you ask me, it was on point and everyone should read it. Everyone should have read it, but that there's censorship prevalent here, you don't get to read it. And it was a lot of people in a lot of counties in the state of Minnesota are working together in this corruption. And provably so by how people are treated in corrections, or if you ask me, especially these holding places before the courts, because they want to do this narcissistic thing to where they drain you out. They make you feel like you can't get any help, so that they're hoping you lash out. They're hoping you do something, because then they're going to utilize whatever they can get you to do as the reason to press further and to keep you in the injustice system. It's not a justice system, I can tell you that for sure. It's an injustice system. It's just like the medical care. You want to pretend like there's health care. It's not health care. It's creating sick people to make you sicker, to keep you on medications and to keep you sick, getting sicker. That's why the symbol that has the snake around it with the, I can't remember, it's that RX symbol, but it's the RX symbol signifying death. that they are the people that work in the occurrences and instances between life and death. And that's why Fauci and all these people and whatever they do, you have to sign that death can occur and nothing can happen. They create the death circumstance. Then they create the death immunity. And if you ask me, that's not about healthcare at all. It's about sick care, and it's actually about being the moderators between life and death. So that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I wholeheartedly believe in Ayurvedics, which is the herbs of the earth that are supposed to be utilized inside of our meats and cheeses and sandwiches and whatever, they're supposed to be in our health regiment for our bodies for a particular reason. Either to help us see or help us clear out mucus or help us live healthier, help us with even depression or sadnesses. But then there's also holistic healthcare, which I believe is to doing with your whole body, your whole body's chakras, because those are what are even explained in the Bible and in different terminology than the chakras, but that's where it comes from, as care for your mind, your throat, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. It's caring about your ears, and then caring about your heart chakra. That's the one that I've been trying to care about the most in different ways, because look, when you're lost into when I was say 6 or 7 years old, I was still a young tyke, but I couldn't trust being where I was otherwise sleeping because of how every single thing had a jagged edge, as if my eyesight couldn't see, as if my eyes, I should say, were being suffocated, my ears were being suffocated, my voice chakra was suffocated, my heart's chakra was suffocated, my whole body was suffocated of being able to put into words and use the vocabulary that I would have had at that age. You see, it wasn't enough not even to not have that vocabulary at such a young age, but what they did to me is absolutely gutter trash. Because when I got away from all of these proxies, and there was minutes to hours to even maybe a few days that I did get away here and there as a kid. But then when it's like, oh, we haven't seen each other for a while, and they want to put the reoccurrence back in. It's just about love bombing you, making you feel safe and in love when you're not, and you never were. Not with them, not with people that are legitimately willing to put poisons in your body. And then the reoccurrence would just happen again in patterns and patterns out on repeat. But when I was in that state and in the worst places where I legit thought I was gonna die, I'd be in bed looking up, or I was in my mom's bed, and I remember looking up and looking as if from memory now, that it was like looking past all of this haze, all of this pain, and looking right to God, asking God, please hold me in my life, hold me in my ability to continue to go on from here. Because without, like, I could imagine it being without you, Lord. I don't know how to, in my mind, I don't know how to put this into words, what's happened to me here. And it was like, you need to reach somebody tomorrow. Well, I did. I tried. School day or whatever it was that we had going on that day. By the end of the day, or by the middle of the day, all that memory was gone. So that's the memories that I have over and over. by getting away and calling back my autonomy from these people, that's verbatim the memories that I have. Is just not being able to hold on to my memories. And now that I can, because I saw through their craft, finally, I decided to move away and out of it. And they still don't want to let me get away. So it's like, it set up the stages where it's day in and day out something happening. The other night, 2 nights ago, someone was back behind my garage and they peeled away on purpose to leave tracks there, right? Next thing I know, in the morning, when I go out there and I'm trying to get my Bluetooth to connect, I have a call coming through on my car. It's not coming to my phones. It's coming through to my car, though, not allowing me to go to GPS, or not allowing me to go to Bluetooth and connect by Bluetooth of either phone. So at first I tried to reset my phones, tried to reset the radio, still came up. Tried to reset the car, turn the car off, wait a few minutes, turn it back on. Still got the same thing. So I had to look it up. How do I factory reset my system, my actual system, from the battery to the car, radio, to be able to establish Bluetooth? Well, so what I had to do was deactivate the Bluetooth. Say, no Bluetooth on either device. Turn it off and forget the system. Like, forget it. Then power off my car, and while turning it on, reset the radio. There's like a button resetting it at the same time as turning it on. So I held down the button for 15 seconds. That reset the radio, the values inside the radio. Then change the PIN passcode. So I went into the Bluetooth, changed that PIN passcode. Then turn on your Bluetooth, pair one device at a time, paired one device at a time. Now, 8 minutes later, there I'm able to get finally into there. Well, by that nightfall, here I am getting pulled over. Really, really strange, huh? Out of what they've done to me, though. And that's what needs to be seen. Like, everything would be paid for, everything would be done just fine if it wasn't for these artists of a very proxy created warfare in my life, not allowing me to work, not allowing me to do an organic love life. The love life that I had there was by proxy, and not the last person before that was by proxy, but the person that I was with before her was definitely a proxy warfare artist. And then going back into even being, living with a roommate, or being in certain situations that there's proxies, fake lovers that don't actually want to love you from now until the end, and will actually love you true. Just people that wanted to be manipulated, bribed, whatever it took to work in this fashion to defend these people. Even Emily had said, "Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea about this." A picture of like a person in a demon in chains with the girl standing right next to him, like acting like, and she's got her hand on him or something like that. It's just a sickness, dude. That's all I can tell you. It's about controlling other people's minds, controlling other people's lives and love lives and their ability to thrive for the reason of disclosure not to be able to come out. Well, that's why I'm making disclosure over and over in my life, because I'm sorry to say that by the end, God is going to show people the truth of everything that had happened, because I'm not going to subjugate myself to being the person that's the abuser when the abuse is happening to me in an unwitting fashion to keep me poisoned at such a young age onward, getting me just used to the reoccurrences of there not being love there, of there not being someone that's truly there for me. So I'm scared of love. I'm legitimately scared of, in the world. I mean, I fear the Lord, sure, but it's a healthy fear of the Lord, where I love the Lord's way of love. I love the Lord's way of true love. I would personally like to be able to get married and have children and have a lot of times in my life to grow forward with, not be killed by my willingness to want that, to get married and have children and have a family. But that's what these people want. They can't even separate the country down the middle and say, if you're Christian, you go over this way, and us Satanists will go over here. No, these Satanists have nothing to entertain them within each other's shit camp. They need the good people, the righteous people to hurt and work on, because that's their enjoyment, you see. Without that, what are they going to do? Throw each other under the bus? No, that's not even the devil's idea. The devil already, if you're already led astray, the devil's just like, good. Now you can run with group thinking. Now you can run in that group thought process instead of, granted, everyone should have some kind of independence, but the independence that's sold out here to keep people divided, that's not about independence. It's about keeping people divided. It's about keeping people unable to talk to each other. It's keeping people unable to love thy neighbor as themselves. And I wasn't talking about just your next door neighbor. I mean, it was talking, in that time, it was talking because it was in a community, and that community was family, so it was about loving your brother as if you love yourself, loving your mother or your true father as you are to be loved, as though you want to be loved. So if you can do those things in the world, that good things can happen. But anything else, nothing good can come of it. Not even a little smidgen. People can think that they can. I'm hoity-toity. I could go be over here and be a dickhead all I want to be. And they can think that they're getting away with anything. But in the end, I'm sorry, but that group thinking is a lake of fire, my friend. It is. In the end, it's a lake of fire. And then we don't even get to go to heaven and forget about this god-awful place that these demons have obviously taken over to crazy levels. So anyway, I'm out of here, and I just really wanted to read this to show people my thoughts about that fake coming out in reoccurrences, and why I believe that, it clearly points to me that when I was poisoned unwittingly, it was Christ who lived in me. And I didn't even know that fact because of the patterns of abuse. But it was the reoccurrence of my memory now, looking back. So I believe that that's the very important factor about a lot of my work out here online. Because technically, I would like to glow up still. I would like to be able to smile and enjoy life. I literally just woke up now, so I probably look like shit, but if I was able to rollerblade and I didn't have these things and had a true support system, my whole character would look different. Anyway, peace.